Well, elsewhere in Africa, the Kenyan government says it plans to build a new road, more border crossings and barriers in its border with Somalia to curb attacks by Al-Shabaab. The country has been under heavy pressure to improve security following several attacks that have left more than 200 people dead since 2013 in towns along the border. And most of these attacks have been perpetrated by Somali terror group Al-Shabaab, which has vowed to continue these attacks as long as Kenya is contributing to the African Union force battling militants in Somalia. Critics in social media were quick to mock the plan, saying the government would do better to focus on tackling corruption. Analysts say it's possible to purchase a Kenyan passport for $100, while those caught up in police sweeps targeting suspected terrorists pay bribes to be released from jail. United Nations was pleased to announce on Monday its third release of child soldiers freed in South Sudan over the last 3 days. What's special about this particular operation is a 9-year-old girl said to have been captured and trained to be a child fighter. On Saturday, the UN Children's Fund registered as many as 654 children rescued from camps for child soldiers, bringing the number of those freed since January this year to 1,314. Also, some 250 children, including 4 girls, were released on Saturday, while the others were freed on Sunday and on Monday. According to UNICEF, the children exchanged their weapons and uniforms for civilian clothes at a formal ceremony in Jonglei State. In the meantime, UNICEF is providing the former fighters with food, shelter, and psychosocial support while it traces their families. Now, as we end Network Africa, cars are usually a big expense that people have to save up for, but for some and many Ethiopians, they will never be able to afford a car because of the tax regulations attached to it. Our friends of the VOA, Marte van der Wolf, reports.
Ethiopia are not only very expensive, they actually never lose their value. Cars that are more than 20 years old can easily cost $10,000 or more. So being in the Ethiopian car business is very lucrative. It's also good for hobbyist Bayo Siyum. He has a full-time job, but he enjoys fixing old cars like these Asian Volkswagen Beetles. Bayo repairs the cars in his spare time, and once he is done, he can sell them for $5,000.
This car is 1971. When I first bought it from someone, it was not been driven for about 4 years, and then by the time I saw it, they were almost looking someone to take it away for free, but I paid a little money, maybe 1,000 birr, which is $50.
With old cars already going for such a high price, newer cars cost tens of thousands of dollars, meaning that in a country where a third of the population lives below the poverty line, only few can afford a car, says car broker Getanet Eshetu.
ነጋዴዎች ከውጪ ያመጧቸዋል ከዛ ዲያስፖራዎች ከዚህ ይቀበሏቸዋል ያላቸው ማለት ነው
Businessmen bring the cars from outside, and the diaspora with money take over the cars here in Ethiopia. People with low income will probably never buy a car until their income goes up. So poor people can't buy.
The reason for the high price of personal cars? Taxes. Almost all cars are imported, and customs will add up 5 different kinds of taxes, meaning that for every personal car, taxes start from 125% of the value up to 244% of the value. You will likely pay more in taxes for a personal car than for the vehicle itself. Ahmed Yassin of the Ethiopian Revenues and Customs Authority says there's a reason for the tax policy.
The luxury goods should be taxed higher than the consumable goods, and these automobiles are categorized as a luxury goods. So this is the main reason. And the other reason is government has to collect revenue to cover the cost of expenditures which are expended for the developmental workers.
Different rules and lower taxes apply for cars used for industry or business. But while one might be stuck in traffic jams in the capital city, the overall number of personal cars was only just above 100,000 in the year 2012, for a population of more than 90 million people.
And that's Network Africa for you today. Thank you for joining us. We would like to hear from you here on Network Africa. Do feel free to reach us via email or Twitter. The address and handle are on your screen. It's Network Africa at channelstv.com and at NetAfrica CTV. It's been a pleasure. I am Amarachi Obani. Goodbye.